Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the November 14th, 2022 Mason City Council meeting. I'm going to call the meeting to order and ask for roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Here.
Councilmember Chance?
Here.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Present.
Councilmember Hackey?
Here.
Councilmember Grossman?
Here.
Councilmember Stricula?
Here.
Mayor Spaeth?
Here. I'm now going to ask everyone to stand, and we're going to have the posting of the colors and the Pledge of Allegiance led by the American Legion, please. Thank you. I want to say a very special thank you to the American Legion, especially after this past Friday, they had the Veterans Day ceremony, and they always do such a nice job. And I see Commander Baseman's in the audience, and I just want to say thank you very much. Appreciate it. I just also want to say a happy early Thanksgiving to everybody, too, because when we meet again, Thanksgiving will be over. So now we're to item number 4, and I need a motion to approve the minutes from the October 10th special council meeting and the October 10th council meeting.
So moved.
Second? Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Item 5 is city manager's report, please.
Excuse me, Mayor, just trying to keep up with you guys as always. Actually, first item here, we have Commander Mark Baseman with the American Legion, who I think has a pleasant surprise.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. On behalf of Joe Bar Post 194, Mason, Ohio, it is my privilege this evening to present to the city a check for $17,000 for the Mason Parks Foundation. This is the proceeds from this summer's Music and Mason Beer Garden sales. So this is the contribution that goes to the Parks Foundation. And on behalf of the members of the Post, I greatly appreciate the city partnering with us so we can really do this good work here in our city for our citizens. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yes.
He gets the real check.
He gets the real check, yep.
We're going to go right up front.
Okay, perfect.
I have a couple of other items, Mayor, to make folks aware of. Thanksgiving is coming up. City offices will be closed on Thursday, November 24th, Friday, November 25th, in observance of the holiday. The Community Center will be open on Thanksgiving Day from 6 a.m. to noon. There will be access to the fitness floor, walking track, and the annual Tough Turkey workout from 7:30 a.m. to 9, and then they'll resume normal operating hours on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of the holiday. Also, after Thanksgiving is the annual Christmas in Mason season. The city will host the annual tree lighting ceremony on Friday, December 2nd at 6:30 p.m. If you're curious about how much longer that is, just go by the plaza and the clock there should tell you. The event will feature holiday music, photos by the tree, again, iceless ice skating, as well as train rides for children, the food, beverages, music, craft stations, all the typical celebrations that have become tradition there. Then I get to announce, I guess, Santa is still coming to Mason. A couple of dates we've secured. Santa will actually visit the city of Mason beginning on Sunday, December 4th at the Grizzly Social Lodge. On Saturday, December 10th, Santa, as well as Mrs. Claus, will be on a Mason fire engine, making stops throughout the city of Mason, looking for the good children, and others, I think. But will be available for pictures and passing out gifts. 6 stops between 9 and 12 p.m. That includes Fire Station 51, McKeno Park, Quinn Park, Fire Station 52, Palmyra Dog Park, as well as the Mason Community Center. And then his last stop will be at the Mason Community Center on Thursday, December 15th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., available for photos. Also, Monday, December 5th, the city is hosting a cyber safety educational event. This is a special opportunity with a highly acclaimed speaker, Secret Service Agent Brian Phillips. This will be the second time we've had him. He will be available to present information developed by the National Missing and Exploited Children's Center to help educate parents on cyber safety, appropriate use of the internet by children. This event is an initiative of the city's campus safety program that's done in collaboration with the schools, and this in particular with the United States Secret Service. That event will be hosted here in this building, as well as Wednesday, December 7th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. will be the Community Center's annual Shop Local event. That event features Mason area merchants and home sales representatives that sell a variety of items. They're in the main street. This is open to the public of the Community Center. This has become a very large, very popular event throughout the years. So that's a foretaste of some of the items going on as we approach the holiday season.
Okay, thank you, Eric. We'll move on to item number 6, which is the Mason Mile update with the MAID CDC. I'm assuming we have, yep, if you come forward, please, state your name and your address.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council and staff. My name is Casey Richards. I live at 216 Short Street, Mason, Ohio. I'm a board member of the Mason Deerfield Community Development Corporation and am an active volunteer within the Mason Mile Core team. I am here this evening to share exciting updates on the Mason Mile project. The Mason Mile project is a community-led, market-driven project. We are honoring our history while building into the future a fresh, healthy, and sustainable place for people to live, work, and play. The Mason Mile project has a core team of volunteers that consist of David Charpentier, Annie Droege, Chris Heim, and myself, and then also administrative staff, which includes Sherry Taylor and Sydney Hayes. The American Planning Association standard guided us to draw a circle and shade an area to start a conversation on what and where our downtown could be. The circle and shading was drawn solely to start that conversation. The Mason Mile area contains roughly 850 properties of many different types and uses. We will honor all existing legal boundaries and land use restrictions and respect property owners' desires as we help our community imagine and define a vibrant, healthy, sustainable city heart. So just kind of some background on where we are today. In August, we signed a grant funding partnership agreement with the City of Mason to serve as the coordinating agency to facilitate the planning for the downtown Mason Mile. We went through a request for proposal process, and we had a total of 9 firms submit interest in the project. We spent the month of August interviewing those firms and assessing proposals for the grant needs. We then spent September refining the scope of work and developing a contract. We met with city staff and the Downtown Committee of Council to discuss our process, including sharing our evaluation criteria matrix and outline of activities to come. Once we completed all of these steps, we signed a contract with the firm Randall Gross Development Economics in October. They have 2 subcontracted firms as well, and those are BLDG Branding and Common Ground Urban Design and Planning. So having the 3 different firms will allow us to work on areas of data and planning, community engagement, and branding at the same time rather than working with the 3 firms independently. Our objectives were to secure professional partners who could work within our budget and who would be willing to come alongside our community and meet us where we are on our own individual community journey. These 3 firms demonstrated that and more. On Thursday, November 3rd, we had our downtown Mason Mile quarterly neighborhood meetup at Warped Wing, and just a special shout out to Warped Wing for donating some appetizers and whatnot for everyone that attended. We had a great turnout of about 35 people, and at this meetup, we were able to provide an informational update and also introduce Jay Becker, who is from the BDLG Branding. Countless people got to sit down one-on-one with Jay and share their thoughts and questions about the project. This meetup also allowed downtown residents, business owners, and property owners to connect and build and strengthen relationships. Thank you to everyone for coming, being a part of the conversations, and for asking questions, and also a special thank you to all of the activators who have helped pass out flyers to promote the community involvement in this event. We definitely could not do this without each of you. We also want to thank Mason City Council for partnering with us to make all of this happen. We are eager and excited to continue to build on all of the good work that's been done over the years and continue to move at the speed of trust. Should you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or anyone on the core team. And then you can also visit our website, which is madecdc.org/downtown Mason Mile. Thank you all for your time. We greatly appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming in this evening. Okay, on to item number 7, which is recognition of visitors. We do have I'll just remind everybody, we have a council rule that allows a maximum of 5 minutes per visitor unless anybody on council here wants to modify that. Otherwise, if there's no changes, I will okay. Is there anyone that wanted to come forward and talk with us? Okay. Mr. Dennehy, if you'd state your name and your address, please.
Thank you. Perry Dennehy, 4184 Fields Edge Drive in Mason. My family moved to Mason in 1965. I'm somewhat of a safety nerd. Volunteer part-time firefighter for Mason for 20 years. My profession is athletic trainer, sports medicine, so I'm always out trying to prevent an injury rather than, have to deal with it afterwards. I have emailed and talked to Kurt a couple times about a street lighting issue. Fortunately, and I drove the new section of 741, the roads are somewhat smoother now, and that area looks great. And I know when the city engages in a streetscape or a total renovation, the end product is just spectacular. But we have an intersection that didn't get that attention because of its length of when it was done. Even LED lighting, I don't think, was incorporated. So I'm talking about Mason Montgomery Road and Fields Erdel, that intersection, 5 lanes each direction. We're all familiar with that. A night like tonight, when we're seeing more darkness than in the summertime, most of the new intersections are going to have the boulevard lighting along the street, but at the intersection, they're going to have the overhead LED lighting. And that dramatically increases the brightness for safety in the intersections. Well, that intersection doesn't have those overhead lighting. And Kurt has explained the process of what it takes to get those in, potentially down the road. Future improvements to that intersection would include the lighting. I guess what I'm asking city to look at is, would it be feasible to install 2 overhead lighting poles, light poles, with the LED to light up that intersection, which has pedestrian traffic from the schools. We get a lot of unfamiliar visitors coming to Mason High School and the Kings Island traffic, but just for pedestrians for the most part, I think 2 LED lights would dramatically improve the safety of that intersection, and that's what I'm here to discuss.
Perry, did you mean to say Fields Erdel?
No, I'm sorry, Mason Montgomery and Tylersville.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We were all
Sorry.
going, what?
Mason Montgomery and Tylersville. Most of the intersections either have 1, 2, 3, or 4 overhead LED lights. That intersection has none. And I understand the poles that were used at the time of that construction did not include the lighting poles above them. And I even drove, I drive through there. One night I just thought, why don't we replace 2 of the boulevard lights with a traditional overhead light? The wiring should be there, the electrical service. And again, I don't expect this to be done just like screwing in a light bulb, but I haven't seen any, haven't seen it get on a project list. I guess that's what I'm asking.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate you bringing it to our attention. Okay, is there anybody else that wanted to come forward and address council? Okay. We will go on to item number 8, which is Resolution 2022-27. I need a motion to read by title only, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, Jeff?
Recognizing Saturday, November 26th as Small Business Saturday in Mason.
Okay, Jennifer?
Yes, Mayor, members of council, as Jeff indicated, Resolution 2022-27 does recognize Saturday, November 26th, as Small Business Saturday in Mason. I think now more than ever, we encourage residents as well as visitors to our community to visit our local establishments in downtown and throughout Mason. The struggles that they've been through from COVID and the ongoing struggles with supply chain demands and staffing is still out there. And so hopefully you will consider this Saturday and participate in our local business downtown. A couple items that we have ongoing from a city perspective. Eric touched on one earlier. Shop local at the Mason Community Center, again, Wednesday, December 7th from 9 to 4. We have about 43 vendors participating in that event. We also are doing a Shop Small Holiday Passport. This is part of our city's monthly small business initiative that we've had throughout this year. So during the month of November and December, we're going to focus on shopping in downtown Mason with a passport program. You're encouraged to visit 5 small businesses in the sectors of both food and beverage, retail, service, self-care, and hobbies. Participants in the program can then submit a completed electronic passport on the city's website. And you also, as part of that, you give a brief testimony as to your experience while you're visiting those businesses. Those participants will then be entered into a drawing to receive a Come Together Mason e-gift card. The program runs from November 1st and is offered through December 31st, with the drawing to occur shortly thereafter. Finally, I want to remind everybody of our Come Together Mason e-gift card. This was a program that developed out of the COVID. We have almost over 84 businesses that are participating in that program, and that's unique to Mason. It's a gift card program that allows you to friends, families, and others to purchase them, and then they can be used at our local business establishment. So again, hopefully everybody will consider to participate in our downtown businesses throughout the months of November and December. With that, Resolution 2022-27 is recommended for adoption. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
Moved. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any council discussion? One thing I just wanted to add, and I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. I always have people, ask me about, like a business that just recently opened, and unless it's coming to council for some kind of vote, oftentimes I don't even know unless I've driven by and I go, oh, that place is opened up. In the future, I don't know how, or I don't even know what I'm trying to say here, but it would be nice somehow if we were able to announce small businesses that are opening up, especially through the downtown area or something. So, because, a lot of times I really don't even know unless I'm just happen to be driving by, and I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying?
And we have the same struggle. Sometimes we don't know either. If it doesn't require a building permit or any type of permitting process, it may not come to our attention, and we only learn about them. We do try to use, once we hear about it, we try to engage with that local business, introduce them to the e-gift card. We also feature local businesses, and CenterPoint will offer to do a story to help promote them and get their name out there. And then, through our social media, our e-newsletters that go out to our members and residents as well. It's not easy. There's not a
No,
good way.
and I
Try to work
understand, yeah.
with the chamber as well to understand those businesses.
Yeah, if I might, that's what I was going to suggest. We have them in the audience today, and I think that would be an incredible, function for you guys to be in front of that, to communicate to us, so we could either celebrate them, acknowledge them, or at least bring them up so we can make it known to the public, so.
Okay, anyone else have anything they want to say? Okay, let's have a roll call, please.
Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spaeth?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Yes.
Okay, item 9, ordinance 2022-106. I need a motion to read by title only, please.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, Jeff?
Approval of the replat for Lot 111 in Heritage Club, Section 6.
Okay, Kurt?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. This is a property that's on Maxwell Drive, just south of Rayner Court. They purchased some property from the golf course, and this replat just simply consolidates those two parcels into one new parcel. It'll be called Lot 111A, and it was before Planning Commission at the November 1st meeting and recommended for approval. So with that, ordinance 22-106 is recommended for adoption.
Okay, thank you. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any council discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spaeth?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Item 10, ordinance 2022-107. A motion to read by title only, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, Jeff?
Approval of the replat for WRLD subdivision, Section 3.
Okay, Kurt?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. The next two ordinances are somewhat related, both relating to the Western Road Development Project, so if I could cover both of them. The first is a replat. This was also at the November 1st meeting. This is a replat for Section 2 of the WRLD subdivision. This replats lots 2, 3, and 4 into multiple commercial and retail lots and the necessary open space lots that are in alignment with the concept plan approved for the development. The plat also, as you can see on there, shows the new sanitary sewer easements as well as some private access easements for development of the site. Planning Commission recommended approval of the revised plat, as submitted with the condition that the applicant work with staff for the required right-of-way for a proposed sidewalk along Western Row Road, which we will take care of. And with that, that ordinance 22-107 is recommended for adoption. The second one is ordinance 108 is related to the TIF agreement. That's part of that mixed-use development that will be anchored by Dorothy Lane. Back in 2021, council authorized an economic participation agreement that included some funding for construction of the public improvements to be funded with TIF funds. And this TIF service agreement requires Mason and WRLD to jointly fund that TIF account and then be paid back as development occurs with the annual revenue payments generated by the new taxes. This will continue the economic commitments made to further this development, and we do expect additional council action in future meetings as the special assessment gets developed, and there'll be council action to enact that. And then one final note is there's an emergency clause on that to allow for execution of this service agreement to keep that project moving along. So with that, ordinance 22-108 is also recommended for adoption. I'll answer any questions you have.
Okay, thank you. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Excuse me, I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second?
Is there any council discussion? I just have something real quick. It's to the whole project. I've had people ask me this. Why is the house still standing on Mason Montgomery?
It should be coming down soon, right, Jim? Any idea in the next couple weeks, you think, or month? Okay. Okay.
Kurt, if you could just
I'll
repeat
follow up
that
on the
since it
permit,
wasn't.
yeah. So they submitted for a permit, probably a demolition permit, that we sent, and they have not been able to find. So we'll make sure that they get that,
Okay.
to get that down.
All right, thank you.
I was not aware of that, thank you.
Anybody else have any other council discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spaeth?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey?
Yes.
Okay, item 11, ordinance 2022-108. I need a motion to read by title only, please.
Second?
Okay, all in favor? Yes. Okay. Jeff, I think you're reading this one.
An ordinance approving and authorizing execution of a service agreement for the Western Road Development Project and declaring an emergency.
Okay, and Kurt's already discussed this one. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved?
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion to adopt.
Second?
Any council discussion? Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spaeth?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Okay, item 12, ordinance 2022-109. I need a motion to read by title only, please. So moved. Okay, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, Jeff?
Authorizing the Ohio Department of Transportation to perform municipal bridge inspections.
Okay, Kurt.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This is the Ohio Municipal Bridge Inspection Program that ODOT has been offering since, I think, 2011. Well, actually, we got certified in 2011 to do some bridge inspections. However, after that, in 2014, they launched a 3-year program where they help municipalities like us that are less than 50,000 have very few bridges to inspect on an annual basis, to get those inspected and make recommendations for any routine maintenance that needs to be done. This program is 100% funded by ODOT through grant funds, and they currently have enough funding to get through one additional year Normally, they've been doing a 3-year program cycle. They have enough funding for 1 year. So this legislation is just for us to be included in that year funding, and then they expect following 2023 that they'll be back on a 3-year track for 24 through 26. So this eliminates us having to pay a consultant ourselves or for staff to get additional training for the bridges in the city to be inspected annually. And the nice thing about it is ODOT manages it, and typically from year to year, there's different consultants looking at it, and the more we have different eyes on our bridges, the safer they are. So they each have different maintenance and things that they see. But these, the staff that do this inspection are people that do hundreds of bridge inspections a year and are very competent. So, ordinance 2023-109 is recommended for adoption. I'll answer any questions that you have.
Did you just say 2023?
I'm sorry, 2022-109. Sorry, I'm thinking about 2023 funding for this.
Okay, I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay, motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, any council discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Spath,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson,
Yes.
Councilmember Chance,
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn, Councilmember Hackey,
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman,
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula.
Yes.
Okay, item 13, ordinance 2022-110, a motion to read by title only.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay, Jeff?
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Ovivo USA LLC in an amount not to exceed $185,000 to purchase sludge headers for 3 secondary clarifiers as part of the wastewater clarifier and thickener rehabilitation project at the water reclamation plant and declaring an emergency.
Okay, thank you. Jennifer?
Mayor, members of council, done, right?
That was a mouthful.
Yeah, that was a mouthful. In May, council approved ordinance 2022-71, and basically that was for a contract with Semperfi Industrial Coatings, Inc. to complete blasting and recoating on our clarifiers and thickeners. During that process, small holes were uncovered on the sludge headers. These plates were welded over those holes, but we do expect that to help extend the useful life, but we expect that useful life to be less than the 15 years that we saw in the original headers. I think our staff at the our water reclamation plant has taken a very proactive approach. They'd like to order 3 sludge headers in. These are stainless steel that will have an extended useful life, but they would like to have them here in our operations in case these do give out. It's critical services out there. We need to make sure that we have a continuity of those services, and so having them in-house and being able to replace pretty readily would facilitate our operations out there. So with that, ordinance 2022-110 is recommended for adoption. We are requesting an emergency clause to this, not necessarily to get the sledge headers in, but because the quote is only good for 30 days. And we've run into that issue throughout this year, and we see it once again. So I will answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. Motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay, motion to adopt.
So moved. Second.
Okay, any council discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Nelson,
Yes.
Councilmember Chance,
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn,
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey,
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman,
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula,
Yes.
Mayor Spath.
Yes. Okay, item 14, ordinance 2022-111, a motion to read by title only, please.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay, Jeff?
Amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Mason, Ohio, Section 942.08A1 and B2, rates for sewer service.
Okay, Eric?
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in Jeff. I don't think he brought the proper enthusiasm when he read this ordinance. But I'll try to make up for that. And I could talk a long time on this, but I won't do that. Just to remind council of a couple of things here. When we talk about sewer service, I don't think we always give it the credit it's due. Twofold, for the city of Mason, Our sewer services are truly the engine of economic development. It's our capacity in sewer, our ability to provide sewer service that attracts a lot of the manufacturers, a lot of the taxpayers that are driving economic development in the city of Mason. Secondly, when we talk about health and safety, maintaining safe sewer services is probably the #1 mission of the city. If we failed at, you would hear about it immediately and horribly. Next, I just want to highlight council's history here. Our credit rating, our Moody's credit rating that we're extremely proud as well as protective of. Excuse me. I think the city has established a very a track record of really smart financial management that has been led by council and finance committees for several years. Combine that with our again, smart financial management of maintaining prudent reserves so that we're kind of managing our risk in case of emergencies, especially in terms of things like a sewer plant where you have some very critical and high cost equipment, as well as debt management. And I think we do a very admirable job of managing debt in a very prudent way and to the benefit of the taxpayers. If you take all those things in context, the Finance Committee has, and I'm not sure whether staff has worn out the Finance Committee or the Finance Committee has worn out staff, but over the course of this year, they have focused on a rate study because we've been able to pay off debt early because of our credit rating, because of all those factors in relation to sewer and sewer plant. The committee was in position to study the rates that we charge our customers. With the payoff of that debt, it opened the door to really revisit how rates are done. And the committee set some lofty goals as part of that rate study. Council contracted with a group called ICRC and looked at different ways that the rates that are charged the city's sewer customers could be reconfigured. One of their driving points to staff and then through the consultant was emphasizing the desire for a rate reduction that would be applied across all sewer customers and deliver the most savings to the most people. And I think with the committee's work a couple weeks ago reviewing the results of that study, we've reached the point where I think we can deliver on that mission as well as respect the role that sewer service plays in the city and the history of financial management the city has had. So the committee is recommending an option amongst several that were configured here to provide relief to all sewer customers in the form of a rate decrease. That decrease would be to the minimum fixed monthly user fee. What that translates to for folks listening is every sewer customer pays a minimum amount of $27, approximately $27. And the recommendation is to reduce that to $15. So that's a 46% reduction in the minimum fixed fee. That equates to, and I think it's fair to say that every sewer customer of the city of Mason would receive at a minimum an annual savings of $150 a year. In addition, for users that use more than the minimum amount, it does not raise those fees, it lowers those fees by 7%. So that usage is going to, your bill is going to depend on how much you use above that minimum amount, but you'll certainly see that $150 reduction a year, and then an additional 7% as based on your monthly usage. That, I think, is a historic moment for the city of Mason to be in that position. The Finance Committee was certainly generous in their time as well as their direction to get us to that point. That's the recommendation that is encompassed in this ordinance that Jeff read so, flat-toned. I think staff are very excited about it despite his tone. I think this is a good opportunity to really demonstrate both the importance of sewer, but also the city's history of management of the dollars. With that, this ordinance is recommended for approval by the Finance Committee, and action tonight would allow this to go into effect with the bills that begin in January of 2023.
Okay, thank you, Eric. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay, motion to adopt.
So moved?
Okay, any council discussion?
Mayor,
Yes.
yeah, I would just like to thank staff for all the hard work that they did to get this ready to go to the committee. Today, the way things are going, prices are going up on everything. So for us to be able to do a rate reduction, this is just awesome. So again, thanks to the staff, thanks to everybody that was involved in this and making this happen.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, Mayor,
Yes.
to Councilmember Hackey, we sat, I think our last finance meeting was approximately 6 hours. We spent a lot of time discussing this, but it is something you see in the world, what's going on right now. It just speaks volumes to our financial responsibility, and I think, that should bode well for the citizens of Mason, that as we see everything else going up and up and up, we're able to give this amount of decrease on our sewer. I think that's, and the importance of it. A lot of people hear the name or what it's addressing, but it serves a pretty darn big function inside the city. And so, yeah, that was, it's not the most pleasant discussion, but the overall theme of what we're able to do is absolutely major kudos to the city and staff and Joe, right? He was even excited about this during our meeting, which if you met our finance director, he doesn't get too excited about anything. But, just to echo what Councilmember Hackey says, that it was well worth that 6-hour meeting, so thank you.
Anyone else? Yes.
I too am grateful, and I think it's incumbent upon us, anytime government can avoid overcharging its residents and businesses, we should do that. But that took, a lot of effort and integrity, and so we're very thankful. It's fun to be able to make the rates lower, as everyone has said, with all the inflation. That's a big concern in every household and business. But again, thank you. We should always seek to lower the cost to our residents and businesses. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, I just want to mention, if anyone's seen it, saw it. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, Mayor, it's totally fine. No, it's okay. It's going to be the first time. It's okay. I'm going to be a broken record, but a good broken record, I guess, because it is just a great opportunity. And again, so thankful for staff, their hard work. We have been working on this for a while, a couple months, had a marathon of a meeting. I'll share about it a little bit more in the committee section, but to be able to get this done, and it doesn't sacrifice the future growth that we have. That's the best part, is that we've set ourselves up for success even in the future and able to reduce this down at a fair amount, I think, for our residents. So it is exciting. It's exciting to be able to say it. It's exciting that we can do that as a public entity, so appreciate it. Anyway,
Okay, thank you. Okay, I just wanted to say, I don't know if anyone read the Pulse over the weekend, and I'm not saying this to be critical of our neighbors to the north, but there was an article in the Pulse that said they were going to have to raise their sewer rate by 2%, and I think their water rate by 2% for their customers, I think what it was. So I think we are very fortunate here in the city of Mason. We always say that, we do live in the fourth best place, right, for families, according to Fortune magazine. And big kudos to Joe Riegelsberger and all of the staff, the finance department, and just all the staff, because it does say big. It's really big that you guys are able to lower the rates, especially this time where our economy is really sacking. So. All right, let's have roll call, please.
Mayor, could I add just a couple of
Yes.
caveats here? And the city will be doing some marketing, getting information out to folks. It's important to note that how billing works, when your bill arrives, likely in February, is when you'll see those savings. It's also true that the sewer is billed as part of a utility bill that also includes stormwater, water, Rumpke fees. Those fees are all going up across the region. So the total bill, the city impacts a portion of that, one of the larger portions of it. You may not realize the exact savings on your total bill as outlined here, because we're offsetting those increases that are being realized by other utilities. I still expect most folks will see a savings, but they won't realize as high an increase as they otherwise would have.
Okay, thank you. Can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn? Yes. Councilmember Hackey?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spate?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Yes.
Okay, item 15, ordinance 2022-112, a motion to read by title only, please. Okay, all in favor? Yes. Okay, Jeff?
Authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources for the House Bill 687 and House Bill 597 Capital Improvement Community Recreation Project for the adaptive ball fields at McKeno Park.
Okay, Eric?
See, that was better. That was. This is, however, largely a housekeeping measure. The city has been, together with the community and the Challenger League folks, collecting dollars to extend McKeno Park with building the Challenger fields. We've been successful in receiving 2 State of Ohio capital grants of $400,000 as well as $675,000. What the legislation here for is to authorize the agreement for that second grant of $400,000. Also need to give credit to the Warren County Commissioners from the county's allocation of ARPA funds. They also allocated another $400,000 towards this project. That got us, together with the funds raised by the Challenger League, within sight of reaching our target. It probably will take a bit more time, largely because of the bidding environment. We were not successful in receiving a number of bids or at a favorable dollar amount, so that gives us a little more time to revisit those bids as well as extend the fundraising period. But with authorization of this, we're securing one of those state capital grant projects via the contract, which we'll be able to use once this project is ultimately ready to go to construction.
Okay, thank you. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay, a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Okay, any council discussion?
Mayor.
Yes.
You know, it mentions this in our, in the briefing in our council packet, but I don't know if it mentions Chief Farrell, but Chief Farrell has also been instrumental of going out and working with Senator Wilson, I believe, on some of these grants. And then also Susan Murdoch, who is with the Challenger League. If you ever have an opportunity, I think I mentioned this back in the summer sometime, but she works extremely hard to go out and promote what she does. And what she does is an extremely cool and worthy cause. And they have raised almost $400,000 on their own to go into these parks. So it's been a great collaboration of the public-private side. And so I love seeing this come to fruition, because if you ever get a chance, if you're going on 42, take a look back there at McKeno Park. It is utilized a lot. And I just think it's really cool to be able to see this project go in there contiguous to what's already there. So very proud of the city for pulling this thing through.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Mayor.
Whoops,
Mayor.
either one.
There's a typo
Oh, where?
on the ordinance. It says 400,000, and then it says in Friends, 400, 00. I think we're missing a zero.
You have that, Eric? Okay, all right, thank you. Okay.
Mayor.
Yes.
Well, so I was debating on if I was going to talk about this in old and new business, but it kind of fits right in with this. So on November 7th, I read that there were $1.7 million in state grants that were awarded to 68 different outdoor recreation projects in our local community. And I wasn't really aware, I guess, that there was this much money out there for these projects. And I am almost wondering, because part of the projects and part of these grants, it's playgrounds, natural playscapes, trails, restrooms, dog parks, baseball fields, baseball courts, tennis and pickleball courts, splash pads, and picnic shelters. And I looked at the 1.7 that's already been awarded, and in Warren County, there was only one listed. So I don't know how long we have to submit for these grants. But I actually emailed DeWine's office today to ask him for more information about it. I plan on bringing it to the Arts Committee meeting in December to kind of talk about, because I don't know if we can even get more funding for some of our other projects or how that works. So I thought we could talk about that in the Arts Project.
Okay.
Or in the Arts Committee. I'm sorry, not the Project, Arts Committee.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay. I think we're ready for roll call.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spaeth?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Okay, item 16, ordinance 2022-113. I need a motion to read by title only, please.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay, Jeff.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Brightview Landscapes LLC in the amount of $991,339 for the 2023 mowing, landscaping, and irrigation maintenance Contract A.
Okay, Jennifer.
Yes, Mayor, members of council, if you don't mind, I'm going to cover the next 4 ordinances because they all deal with mowing, landscaping, irrigation. For almost 20 years, the council has awarded landscape mowing contracts in order to maintain the city's growing landscape maintenance needs. Privatizing this work has been the most economical means to accomplish it. Brightview has our current bid, which was our current contract, which was last bid in 2017 and will expire December 31st of this year. Since 2017, additional roadways have been added, medians, parks, facilities, landscaping, yet there has been no increase in the 2017 pricing for Brightview's contract. In August, staff began creating some bid documents. We did anticipate a significant increase to these contracts for a couple different reasons. One, you've heard me say over and over again this year, just the economic conditions that we're seeing out there, combined with the fact that we have added a number of items to this contract over the last 5 years. The last time we bid it out, we expected significant increases as well. We didn't know how many bids we would get, so we tried to segregate out the needs throughout the city into 4 different contracts, hoping we would get additional bids. We didn't see a lot then. We even saw less this time. We only received maybe 1-2 bids on a number of these different contracts. Contract 8 includes landscape maintenance on cities' streets and right-of-ways. That's things like mowing, litter pickup, installing and maintain annual planting beds, the downtown plaza area, mulching, watering, irrigation maintenance and repair, as well as the application of chemical, herbicides, and fertilizers. We only received 2 bids, as I indicated, and the lowest bid that was submitted had several discrepancies and unfavorable recommendations when we called some other municipalities as references. We spoke with our legal counsel here tonight, and he recommended that we not accept that low bid, and so we rejected it. Ordinance 20-22-113 authorizes a contract with Brightview in the amount of $991,339 as a 1-year contract. We do have the option to renew up to 4 additional years. Again, this is a significant increase over our previous contract. Contract B includes landscape and maintenance at city-owned facilities such as the Municipal Center, Community Center, Aquatic Center, Service Center, Water Reclamation Plant, Service Annex, as well as our fire stations. Brightview had the lowest bid on that. Ordinance 2022-114 would authorize a contract with Brightview in the amount of $199,641. Again, it's a 1-year contract with the option to renew up to 4 additional years. Contract C includes landscape maintenance at cities' parks. Ordinance 20-22-115 authorizes a contract with Brightview again in the amount of $39,784. And finally, Contract D includes landscape maintenance at a variety of other city-owned properties that weren't covered in the previous contracts. Ordinance 20-22-116 authorizes a contract with Grunder Landscaping, Inc. in the amount of $59,096 during the first year. All of these contracts do include annual increases over the next, for the additional 4 years. Again, we were very sensitive to the bids we were receiving on these. What we're recommending at this point are authorizing these contracts, but as we go into next year and hopefully maybe the economy changes, the world that's out there will change, and we will reevaluate and possibly rebid next year if needed, or even year 3, 4, and 5 as we just monitor things and see how things progress. So with that, ordinance 20-22-113 through ordinance 20-22-116 are recommended for adoption. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay, I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, any council discussion? Yes.
Could you give us a general amount of the increase? 3 times. Okay, so in the first contract, it could have been 300,000, now it's 900,000? Okay, I'm just, okay. That's just,
We even looked at breaking that contract down into smaller contracts, but there's just no real easy way, because that's all the city's right-of-ways in there, and it's, but we're not even even on the smaller bids, we're just not seeing the response.
thank you.
Added additional medians and stuff too. It's not totally apples to apples.
Right.
So
Thank you.
it includes all the medians. Sorry, it includes all the medians on 741 that we're constructing now, the roundabouts that are under construction, and the new roundabouts that we brought online as well, so that we're not including the 2017 contract.
My only suggestion is maybe we need to look at rock. Kind of like you see in Arizona or whatever, but, okay, that's fine.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I need a roll call, please.
Councilmember Hackey,
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman,
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula,
Yes.
Mayor Spate,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson,
Yes.
Councilmember Chance,
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn.
Yes.
Okay, item 17, ordinance 2022-114. I need a motion to read by title only, please.
So moved?
Second?
Okay, all in favor? Yes. Okay, Jeff?
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Brightview Landscapes LLC in the amount of $199,641 for the 2023 mowing, landscaping, and irrigation maintenance Contract B.
Okay, and Jennifer has discussed this. A motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay, a motion to adopt.
Moved?
Okay, any council discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Grossman,
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula,
Yes.
Mayor Spate,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson,
Yes.
Councilmember Chance,
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn,
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey.
Yes.
Okay, item 18, ordinance 2022-115. A motion to read by title only.
So moved?
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay, Jeff?
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Brightview Landscapes LLC in the amount of $39,784 for the 2023 mowing, landscaping, and irrigation maintenance Contract C.
Okay, thank you, and Jennifer's already discussed this one. Motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay, a motion to adopt.
So moved?
Okay, any council discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Stricula,
Yes.
Mayor Spate,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson,
Yes.
Councilmember Chance,
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn,
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey,
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman.
Yes.
Okay, item 19, ordinance 2022-116. A motion to read by title only, please.
So moved?
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay, Jeff?
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Grunder Landscaping Company in the amount of $59,096 for the 2023 mowing, landscaping, and irrigation maintenance Contract D.
Okay, motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay, a motion to adopt.
Second?
Okay, any council discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Spate,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson,
Yes.
Councilmember Chance,
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn,
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey,
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman,
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula.
Yes.
Okay, item 20, ordinance 2022-117. A motion to read by title only, please.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay, Jeff?
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract or contracts with a music entertainment agency or agencies in a total amount not to exceed $150,000 for entertainment artists for the 2023 Red Rhythm and Boom concert.
Okay, Eric?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to deal with the next two ordinances because they go together. First ordinance is, both of these are for 2023 Red Rhythm Boom events. Those dollars are encumbered as part of the 2022 budget, and then we anticipate in the 2023 budget we'll be budgeting for the following year. This helps us in our planning process to make sure we're not missing a beat as far as expectations. So this, similar to past years, ordinance 2022-117 authorizes $150,000 that would be for the entertainer at Red Rhythm Boom. That could be a single act, it could be two acts, it could be a combination of those. It allows us to do it with multiple contracts for however those are able to be priced together. What comes with that caliber of entertainment, though, is that we have learned over the year is significant investment in what the entertainer needs as far as the caliber of sound system, lighting, stage, et cetera. That's where ordinance 2022-118 comes in, authorizing up to $150,000 for those items in what's called stage production. That allows us to essentially host the headline entertainment and the entertainment for Red Rhythm Boom. The city has had a good track record now with Frequency City Sound, delivering the level of equipment and the service that a variety of artists with high expectations can meet. So ordinance 2022-118 authorized that contract again with Frequency City Sound to provide those type of support services, both of these for Red Rhythm Boom 2023. I can answer any questions. Both are recommended for adoption.
Okay, thank you, Eric. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay, a motion to adopt.
So moved?
Okay, any council discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Nelson,
Yes.
Councilmember Chance,
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn, Councilmember Hackey,
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman,
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula,
Yes.
Mayor Spaeth.
Yes. Item 21, ordinance 2022-118, a motion to read by title only, please.
So moved?
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay, Jeff?
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Frequency City Sound in an amount not to exceed $150,000 to provide the stage, sound, light, and video screens for the 2023 Red Rhythm and Boom concert.
Okay, and Eric, do you have anything to add? Nope. Okay, motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading?
Second?
Okay, all in favor? Okay, a motion to adopt?
Second?
Okay, any council discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Chance,
Yes.
Councilmember Bradburn, Councilmember Hackey,
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman,
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula,
Yes.
Mayor Spaeth,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson.
Yes.
Okay, item 22, ordinance 2022-119, a motion to read by title only, please.
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay, Jeff?
Authorizing the city manager to enter into contracts in an aggregate amount not to exceed $350,000 for improvements to the Mason Veterans Memorial.
Okay, Jennifer?
Mayor, members of council, throughout 2021, the Veterans Board of Affairs were discussing and planning for improvements to the Mason Veterans Memorial. Much of those discussions were related to the addition of a Gold Star Families Memorial, a monument stone for the new Space Force military branch, as well as upgrading the lighting and the landscaping, as well as some much-needed concrete work out there. This was all due for the plans for the 20th anniversary of the Veterans Memorial. It was dedicated in 2003. They were hoping to complete all this work by Memorial Day of 2022. Unfortunately, because of supply chain issues, that plan became unachievable. We did do some things. I want to give a little history of some of the movement and how we got to where we are today. In June of 2021, the city was approached about adding a Never Forget garden to the memorial site, and we did do that. It's just adjacent to the Veterans Memorial. During the summer of 2021, a new Gold Star Family and Purple Heart flag were installed in the front of the memorial. In September of that year, the committee did review lighting options, and we were on a path to move forward with that lighting. We also sought quotes for landscaping with only one bidder at that time as well, or one vendor only showing interest that. In December 2021, council did approve ordinance 2021-132, which authorized the purchase of a piece of granite for that Gold Star Memorial. And we, throughout the rest of the remaining part of 2021, we worked on designs. The stone was ordered early and finalized early in 2022. In February of this year, council approved ordinance 2022-32, which authorized a contract for landscaping, as well as for and ordinance 2022-33 for lighting at the memorial. Unfortunately, none of that moved forward for several different reasons. One, the monument stone got stuck out in California and we couldn't get it here. In the meantime, we got approached by a group who wanted to donate a Purple Heart monument stone to the memorial. So we thought with all the delays, the committee thought we needed to take a step back, maybe really plan out what all these monuments, where they would be located out at the Veterans Memorial through a very thoughtful process. And so we hired the Liongers group to do that for us. So through some survey work, just design work, they finally came up with a plan for us. And that work that included, as part of that work, they did note to us that there was some more brick space. Well, the memorial bricks that are located at the Veterans Memorial are really starting to fade. They're lifting. The foundation that was set for that was not done properly. It was set in stone and there was no concrete underneath, so you have a lot of lifting going on. It's becoming a trip hazard. Their recommendation was to remove all those memorial bricks and to replace them with new bricks. And in addition to that, with some of the work as far as setting a new Space Force monument, they were feared that there would be some damage done to the memorial bricks. So the best bet was just to go replace them all and to put new bricks in that place. We also needed more space for those veterans that are right in front of the monument stones for each branch of the military. They looked at the concrete work. Additional lighting because of the monument stones were going to be needed, as well as additional landscaping. So they wrapped that all up for us in a package, and that's what's before you tonight. It includes a contract or an estimated amount of not to exceed $350,000. That would go out to a number of different bidders. That would include additional lighting, the landscape, the concrete work, the memorial bricks being removed, a new foundation laid in that area, and new bricks put in. The Gold Star Family Memorial, we need a base for that memorial as well as a base for the Purple Heart Memorial. So it would include all the necessary work to upgrade that memorial in celebration of its 20th anniversary next year. So our goal is at this point would be to try and get this work completed by November 8th of next year. Now, we're going to keep our fingers crossed with that. Hopefully, everything will arrive, and we can get vendors lined to move forward with this project as quickly as possible. So with that, ordinance 2022-119 is recommended for adoption. I'm happy to answer questions. I know that this has been reviewed by the Veterans Board and members of the council, if you want to speak on its behalf.
Okay, thanks, Jennifer. I need a motion to suspend the rule and allow for adoption after the first reading.
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay, a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Okay, any council discussion? Yes.
Mayor, in the light of us doing this, one, I'd like to thank the Veterans Board, and I would also like to highly encourage the city and our citizens to come out next year to our Veterans Day celebration. It was, I think this year is done extremely well. It was condensed. It's not that long. I think maybe we need to look at a different hour. But it was very touching, very moving, and, you know, like I said, Veterans Day was last Thursday, and I'd just like to take a moment to thank Councilmember Strickler and Councilmember Hackey for your service in regards to veterans, and then you get to serve on this board. So thank you guys for your service and also your service on this committee, and as well as Vice Mayor Nelson. So thank you guys for doing this. I think it's, especially with all the needs that are out there. We've been talking about doing this stuff for a long time.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Are the plans from Kleinger's available for our review? Okay, I don't know why I've never seen them before, but I'd love to see them if that's possible. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Bradburn?
Yes.
Councilmember Hackey?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Stricula?
Yes.
Mayor Spade?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nelson?
Yes.
Councilmember Chance?
Yes.
Okay, we're to item 23, which is committee reports. Does anybody have a committee report? Was that a yes or a no?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I'll keep mine real brief. In regards to the downtown committee, we met, and we also, we had Casey and Sydney here tonight, and also Chris Hine. He's the one that's spearheading. He's one of the actuators. They mentioned that in their update, but what they failed to mention that there's almost 50 actuators right now. And what the actuators, what they do is they go out and engage with our community, with the business owners, with the property owners, and they're gathering a ton of really good feedback. So that's just encouraging that we have 50 private citizens out there really engaging everyone that is encompassed inside that mile. So, and I would encourage anyone in the downtown area, if they're interested, to come. I think it looks like we might be having our next meeting on December 1st. So again, if you have any questions, concerned, that'd be a great spot to come and learn more about what we're doing.
It'd be appropriate to announce the downtown committee.
Okay.
The next scheduled will be December 1st at 8 a.m.
Okay. Did I steal your thunder there at all?
No,
Okay.
I just-
Yep. So December 1st at what time?
8 a.m.
8 a.m.
Anybody else?
Mayor,
Yes.
just reiterating a little bit from before, we did have a finance committee meeting. It wasn't a marathon meeting. It was, I'm glad you counted. It was a lot of hours, 6 hours, 6+ hours. We got a ton of work done. We are, this is all in regards to the budgeting process. Again, the city continues to take a very conservative approach to its budgeting process. And we did spend a lot of time on the sewer reduction plan, which, again, we wanted to focus on saving as much money as possible for as many of the residents as possible. And so that's why, again, we have that $150 reduction per year. And we hope to have a draft budget proposal in front of you soon for approval.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Mayor?
Yes.
Yes, we had an Arts Committee meeting. We talked about having the swap concert, which I'm not going to tell you who, some great things that are coming out about that, but it's not finalized. So we're going to keep those a secret for a little bit, but it's great news. But we're talking about having the swap concert in conjunction with our Memorial Day event. So we're kind of planning both of those, and we still have a lot to finalize on that. So I don't have anything final, but that's what we discussed within our Arts Committee meeting.
Okay, thank you. I just want to mention that we have not had another Rules Committee meeting yet, and it kind of got put on the back burner because the budget needed to get done, and our city manager was working quite hard with all the committees and doing that because there's a lot that goes into it before the Finance Committee looks at everything. So I just want to let you know we haven't forgotten about the Rules Committee, have we, Eric? No. Okay. Okay, I think we're to item 24, which is old and new business. Does anybody have old and new business?
Mayor,
Yes.
I have a question for Kurt. It seems like on the Dorothy Lane project, they moved the dirt, and then they removed the dirt, and then they moved the dirt, and they removed the dirt. Are they about finished with the dirt so far?
I'm not exactly sure, but generally that's to strip the topsoil and then they move the dirt around. They did have some rock. They generally knew where the rock was. I think they hit rock at some shallower elevations in some spots than they expected. So they did some borrow pits where they got good dirt from a pile, put it over, and then filled that borrow pit with topsoil. And so, yeah, that's why they're moving dirt around, is to get good dirt.
I've had some
Yeah.
residents ask me, it says,
Yep.
it just seems like they're moving one pile, and then they take it down and move it somewhere else.
They are.
Okay.
They're exactly right.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, anyone else? Yes.
Okay. Well, I wanted to follow up with Mr. Dennehy. Thank you for bringing that lighting issue to our attention. So how do we move forward with looking at the Tylersville and Mason Montgomery intersection and adding some overhead lighting? Can you enlighten us, Kurt? That was a little pun, sorry.
The easiest way is to replace that traffic signal. Like Mr. Dennehy said, the signals out there, what they're called is combination poles that have both a mast arm for the traffic signals and then a mast arm up at the top for a light. Those were put in maybe early 2000s, late 90s, and we didn't have combination poles. So that what was done was there was our existing lights were put on each corner of that intersection. I know Ryan has staff going through, they're retrofitting all the lights on Tylersville, Mason Montgomery with LED. And I don't know, Jennifer, if you know where that is. I think Mason Montgomery is almost done. And so if that doesn't improve the lighting in the intersection, we could potentially look at, like Mr. Dennehy said, maybe a taller light in the intersection at each corner. The existing foundations, his idea of the existing foundations are for our decorative poles, which are only 14 feet high. It would need likely a new foundation or a direct buried pole that could provide a higher light to light the intersection better. So we could look at, one option is Duke to see what they would have for either a direct buried pole or to hang on the poles that are out there. And then the other option is just future improvements in that intersection that would include replacing the signal. So.
Yeah, is there anything we need to be doing moving forward? Is this all stuff that staff will handle with Mr. Dennehy?
Yeah, we can look into it if you'd like.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
And speaking of intersection improvements, it's really shaping up at 42 and Tylersville, and the new railroad track improvements are so nice. I know you guys are still working on that, but that's really coming together and such a wonderful improvement in what I think is our busiest intersection. Am I correct?
Yeah, it changes day to day, but it's one of.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's really, really very nice. Thank you so much. I had a question about our e-gift card program, and I'm not sure who could best answer that, but I was wondering how it's holding up in 2022 compared to when we first launched it, or 2021, and if you even have that data. And then I know you're doing things to promote the e-gift card program, and it's awesome that we have 84 businesses participating. And I'm wondering, is there anything, well, maybe you could tell us some of the things that we're doing to promote the e-gift card program, and is there anything more we can be doing as the holidays are coming to promote that program? Because it's such a cool gift to get a gift card that you could use at one of 84 businesses. Of your choosing.
As far as the Christmas holidays, yeah, it would go out to in our e-newsletter encouraging buying the gift card as a Christmas present for somebody, much like any gift card. We have used it in a number of ways just internally, whether it's as, for instance, our holiday gift cards you guys approved at our previous council meeting. One of the options was the e-gift card for that employees had the ability to select from. We've used them in like donation baskets, gift baskets, any way we can get. I think the Chamber's basket included some of them this year as far as their event, but any way we can continue to grow that program, we do. Like we talked about earlier, if we hear of a new business, we do approach them. We reach out to them via phone call to explain it to them and to help encourage that. But yeah, community center e-newsletters as well as the general e-newsletters, we like a business, we try to get it out there and market it, and it has really grown though. If you consider when we started that, 3 years ago, and where we were at today, it's pretty impressive. I was just telling that to Jenna today, that I couldn't believe we had 84 vendors participating in that. And I know they're going back now because there were some issues with some of the vendors, for some reason their machines weren't working, and I know they're in the process now of reaching out to vendors to make sure they weren't, if we don't see a lot of activity at a certain establishment, to reach out to them to say, how can we help? Is there something going on? Is it, an issue? But it shouldn't be any more an issue with the card, but if they're, just to learn more about it and how we can help, so.
I can add a couple of items along those lines, but more on the corporate side. We use the gift cards with the Corporate Challenge, which has become a very popular program. So in lieu of T-shirts, participants received a gift card to local businesses. We've used it with considerable success, for example, with a business such as Vega, when new corporations are opening to, as part of helping welcome them and their new employees to the area by using those gift cards, which is trying to drive that message that where the city really excels in economic development, driving some of that. That's what we do that helps small businesses because it's building their customer base. Maybe sometimes the missing link is introducing those new employees to those small businesses, and that's where the gift card proves very helpful, both as kind of an incentive to a larger corporation, as well as filling that gap. And there are, if you talk to us too long, we jump back and forth with all kinds of just anecdotal examples of that.
Well, the Employees Wellness Program. If you hit the top tier of a wellness program, that's one of the gift cards you could get. So any way that we're creative, if, there's a program out there or an organization approaches us for a partnership in it, we're working it into any type of partnership we can.
And you guys put them in, like if somebody, an organization asks for a raffle basket, don't you guys put them in there? Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear it's still thriving and growing. And I'm a former teacher, so I can attest that teachers love gift cards for gifts. Those are pretty exciting. They were just starting to come out when I was teaching in the early 90s, so isn't that funny? But yeah, if you're a tired mom or dad, you can get online and order that e-gift card. It's so easy. You don't even have to print it out, but you could and just slap a candy cane on it and a little love note from your child, and that is all you have to do and to keep it going. But anyway, thank you for that update. I'm really glad to hear that. A couple more things. The cybersecurity event, I think I saw you, Mayor, there. I don't know, it was a few months ago at the high school. It was actually really interesting, but it was not well attended because I think people didn't know how interesting it was going to be. So for parents out there, it is really worthwhile to hear the teaching, and the Secret Service agent was just very interesting and intriguing as well. So I think that's on December 5th, and you said it's in this building, so will it be in here or in one of the classrooms? Okay, classroom on the first floor. Awesome. And then last thing, we've talked about scheduling a work session at the end of the year, and that didn't come together. So I was wondering if we can work on that for January.
I'm leaving that up to Eric because of the scheduling issue. Yep. I mean, I don't know. Do you want to address that a little bit? Of talking about the work session?
Yes, had been looking at trying to find a date within November, December. It quickly became apparent with both personal schedules and city schedule that it just wasn't going to work for a quorum of council. I can restart that. I'd probably suggest if there's the appetite, probably starting looking in January. It felt like schedules were in such flux when I was trying to isolate it that I don't know, I don't want to oversuggest, but maybe council members' capacity to commit would be improved once you get through the holidays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, by the time we have our next meeting in December, we'll have been together as a new council for an entire year, and we haven't had a work session yet. So it'd be great if we can set that New Year's resolution to have one in January when we're all back after the holidays. So if we could work on that, that'd be great.
Okay, is that it?
Yes.
Okay, anyone else? Yes.
I have one. Kurt, have we ever heard back from Duke in regards to the street lighting for Hamilton, Mason, and Bethany?
Yes, we have design and estimated cost back from them, yes.
It only took about a year.
It did.
Is that correct?
It took a while, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we should be seeing something come into us as far as legislation?
If, in the finance committee meeting, I wasn't in there, but I believe there's a item on the proposed budget to cover finishing the retrofits that we're doing, and then whatever is left could be used for this, correct? Jennifer?
No, I don't think both
Okay.
projects were in the draft budget. Now, the budget's still draft, and there's still numbers moving around, but, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I need to go back and double check on the list. There were a number of projects, and this is a discussion that's probably premature with the Finance Committee, where we were looking at the time commitment. And so some projects were put in the perhaps if time permits or to look at in 2024. So I can't, it's still all draft. I don't want to overpromise and say that they were secured in the 2023 budget. Nothing's secured there yet, but time was more of a differentiator, kind of capacity to take on projects than
Thank you.
dollars.
Real quick, in regards to the city business, we had a note in there in regards to, this is something Councilmember Stricula and I have talked about on several different fronts, is the Mason Green team. I like to see Ryan Tyree, Rob Holt, Josh Creech, Ed Smith, Nate White, Veronica Hazelwood, and Steve Cadell looking at this, because this is something near and dear to me. It's what I do for a living. And when I'm reading through those, a lot of people think, and when you hear sustainability, it has to be something that, doesn't make financial sense. And I think it's incredible for the city to be looking at stuff that falls inside that scope that is tied to a cause and cost scenario. So it was good to read that and see that we are looking at that and paying attention to what are some of the things that we can do in regards to, saving energy and cost, but associating, the cause and cost approach. So, I'm looking at talking with Duke on the light poles and a lot of the different other measures that we're looking at. Kudos to the city for doing that. That's encouraging, considering we are the fourth best place to live. I think that's some of the measures that we need to start looking at as well. So, good job.
Okay.
Mayor?
Oh, okay.
I had a resident contact me in regards to a tree that is down, that is on the right-of-way, I guess it's what it's called, in front of a house, the city trees. And it's been down for a while, and he's, I guess, tried to get it replaced, and it's his neighbor's tree, and they're not responding. And he wants the city to be more forceful with the landscaping ordinance. I guess he's called a couple times, and the city said, well, it's really up to the HOA. And he came back with, well, what happens if they don't have an HOA? This tree has been down forever, and what's the point of an ordinance if we don't, if we don't pursue it? So I think he had a really good and valid point. Do you think we can look at that a little deeper and see what we can do, even if it's just writing a letter, telling them what their requirements are to replace the tree?
I would say we'd need to know more specifics. Not every tree is a right-of-way tree, and the landscape ordinance wouldn't necessarily, we need to know some specifics.
Okay.
The city's not really in a position to, I don't want to go into this. The landscape ordinance is useful when developments are coming into the city and establishing what type of landscaping they should have. Once a development's put in place, when you have homes and businesses there, and they put in that initial landscaping to enforce that to those same standards at that same rigidity is a lot more difficult, because that is now private property versus proposed development property. I don't want to say it's impossible.
Sure.
I want to say there isn't recourse, but it's not as straightforward as they may read by reading by reading standards to come in.
Sure.
Think of it maybe like your house. When your house comes in, the HOA standards, even the city standards, it should be in good shape, it should be painted. And then if you put decorations up in the window that don't conform to that, or you put signs up that don't conform to that, it's a different issue to come in and try and change your private property versus.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I was under the impression that it was a right-of-way tree, but I will get more information, and we can talk about it and meet with you. And then I just have one more thing. I was honored enough to be able to attend Royal Theater's performance of Oliver, and it always just amazes me how great those kids are. They were so little, and they just are on cue, and they do such a great job. So proud of them. But they did just announce their next performance will be Beauty and the Beast. So I'm very excited to go to that, and I encourage everyone to come along and check them out, because they did such a great job.
Okay. Okay, everyone. I just had a couple quick things. How much longer will the military banners be up? Because I know after Veterans Day, they don't stay up much longer.
Well, I would say they'd be coming down in the next week or so, because we'll probably want the Christmas ones,
Okay.
holiday
I
season.
really encourage everybody to take time to look at those. I just think they're so wonderful, and every time they put them up, I see somebody new that hasn't been up before, so I know more people are participating in it. But it's kind of fun if you have a family member, because when they first go up, you drive all over town trying to find it. And my husband laughs because we have 360 on each other, and the first time I was going around trying to find my mom and dad, he was like, what the heck is she doing? She's going all over the place, you know. It was funny, but I really love the military banners. I just think that's such a great way to honor our veterans and our active military. Also, I wanted to mention Angel Alley. That had a grand opening just a couple weeks ago. Jennifer and Mark Winter, who are private citizens, actually did all of that, and they got donations for everything that made that happen. And it's just a wonderful tribute to all of our young people in our community that have left us way too early. So if you haven't had an opportunity to visit Angel Alley, please do that. And I did see something on maybe Facebook or something where the wind kind of damaged I think the umbrellas, so they've had to, they're still there, but they're not open for the rest of the winter. But it's just a beautiful tribute. And I also wanted to encourage everyone to attend the cyber safety event, because that was really good. Now, since it's over here, does that mean there's not going to be as many outside organizations that participated like last year?
Yes, we're looking at, for some of the reasons discussed, looking at kind of reimagining the event, starting to build more participation. So it'll be the speaker here as not one-on-one, but more of a classroom forum instead of a festival type of.
Right. It really was very informative, not just for adults, but I know last year for kids, about just all kinds of things having to do with not just cyber safety, but I know Safe on Main was there providing information about what they do. Lots of organizations were there to help kids and adults. So I encourage everybody to go to that. And I think that might be it. So with that, I'm going to go to item number 25, which is I'm sorry, what?
Well, it's probably very tacky of me to bring this up during old new business, but assuming maybe during resident comments, we do have a birthday we'd like to acknowledge.
Oh,
So
okay.
before we leave old new, if we could sing and then start
Do it right
passing out.
now?
It's up to you, but the
Okay.
suggestion.
Who's going to lead it?
Visit.
I'm not putting my voice on the. Whose birthday is it?
Not the mayor, but it is the vice.
The vice, okay.
Mayor of Vice.
I'll start, but I'm turning the mic off because my voice is terrible. Kathy, you should lead it. You've got the voice. Happy birthday. You want to tell everybody what number this is? No. I didn't think so. Okay, all right. Well, happy birthday. Okay, on to item 25, recognition of visitors again. Does anybody want to come up to the podium and address council?
Podium, you can have a piece of cake.
Okay, if there is nobody, let's see, we are now to item 26, which is I need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
All right, thank you.